you guys. Gonna do another story time today. I don't know how long it will be. I'm kind of derpy and not totally feeling good. So if I'm quiet or if I kind of lose my train of thought, I'm sorry. And I'm sure you guys are like, well, why are you doing a video if you're like that? Because doing videos makes me feel better. So that's why I'm doing a video when I'm like this. And that's why my videos are so awesome. It's because I am derpy. But, so where did we leave off last time? Well, the last story I told was Kira's backstory. So, I don't know. Anyway, either just go look up. I'll have a link at the end. Y'all can check that out. And I'll also link the Wolf Coven playlist at the end, because I have a playlist with anything that involves Alex or Kira or their story at the end. Same goes with the Phoenix Sisters, so if you guys like that story, which it's been a while since I said anything about their story, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry. And she's like not behaving right now. But, here, I'm just gonna do this. Do you like her belt, by the way? I made it on one of my live streams. And then, because I was waiting and stuff, I actually made my friend Tiffy one. Because, oh, little updates before I start the story. Because I forgot, if you guys haven't seen the speed paint, I redid Alex's face. And he doesn't have his glasses on right now just because I had to put tack on his ears in order for them to stay. Just because of the way they are. Which you don't see. Like, if I did that, you would be able to see his ears. His hair covers up his ears for the most part. Which isn't a bad thing. I don't mind it. It's not that big of a deal for me. I really love it. I do feel like it kind of gave him... It's like kind of a feminine-like look. But I don't mind it. I actually really like it. And I don't think it changes his personality at all. It's just kind of like an upgraded look. Like, this is how he would look no matter what. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. But there's that. He's good. On the talk of Kira, I am in the process of I was going to order her wig today, but I kind of ran into a problem because I finally decided the colors I wanted to use, and then when I went to order, I saw that I couldn't use those colors in the way I wanted. So she said if there's any like questions about colors or whatever, to just message her, and I did that. She didn't answer my first message, which I just assume she's probably really busy. So hopefully she answers me tomorrow. I'm hoping, because I really want to order her wig as soon as possible. But gosh dang it, her legs are driving me absolutely up a wall. I can't deal with them. But so I'm gonna be ordering her wig soon, and it's gonna be like I decided not to do purple for her hair because I was gonna do a purple and a burgundy color, but I also kind of like the idea of black and burgundy, so I don't know. I kind of basically decided to do the black and burgundy, but if I'm going to have to do it in different colors, like it would still be the same colors but different style, that might change. I don't know. I'm having to like overthink things like always. So there's that, Kira's wig, and then I've been doing a lot of live streaming on Instagram, and I recently just kind of became really good. Well, to me, I'm really good buddies with Tiffany BJD or Tiffy BJD. You know what? I'm just gonna put her channel right here. You can click it. I actually know how to do that now, so you guys can click her channel. She does some BJD stuff, and she actually has her own Etsy. She makes some really cool stuff, but she's almost always at my live streams, and she recently did her first live stream a day or two ago, and last night, not the current night I'm in right now, but the night before, she did her second one, and she pulled out, I'm getting ears for Alex and horns for Kira, because I just think she would look cute in horns, mainly, but yeah, so we've kind of become pretty good friends. We've been like live stream buddies, so, because I don't get very many views, like, no one really comes to my streams, and when she did her stream, although it was really late, so that's kind of why a good majority of the time no one comes to our streams, is because we both stream really late. So a lot of the times it's just me and her, or me and maybe 2 or 3 other people in a group, so it's pretty cool. So I'll just put that. I don't know, enough rambling. But yeah, I'm getting Kira some horns, so she's gonna look really cute. And you guys know I've been planning on making, like, actually you can see right here. These are the horns I made Alex. I thought I threw them away, or horns. These are the ears. I don't know if I said ears or horns, but I did. Ears. So, good lord. She can stand? Yes? Okay. So, Alex is getting ears, and they're going to be in a, not this dark blue, but more of a, like, slightly darker than what his face color is. So, there. And then Kira's is going to be kind of like a light pink. Well, it's not going to be a really light pink, but, I mean, it's still going to be, like, if you can see the pink that's, like, inside of her ear right here, it's going to be, like, that light. So, not too light, but it's also not that dark. Her wig's going to be dark, so I wanted to make sure her horns were pretty light of a pink. So, that way they could stand out a little bit more. And then I still need to blush her tail. I'm actually finding that I'm using it a lot more. Mainly because it helps her stand a bit better. It gives her a little bit of weight in the back. And I actually can, although it does look a little odd with this dress, I could still put it on. And she could still look, you know, she could still stand. She stands really, really well with the tail. But those are, I guess, my little updates. And then, as far as story goes, last time I said, Kira's backstory. So, she obviously ends up coming to around Alex's area, and she is basically living there kind of in the forest, which, I don't know, I need to make a map, a new updated map, because if you guys remember the map I made for the Phoenix Sisters, that world technically doesn't exist anymore. I've changed a lot about my world since then, so I probably need to do an updated map video, but she basically is living in their area, and she's been living there, I guess, probably a couple years maybe, but, you know, she just kind of steals things whenever she really needs to eat, and then sometimes, like, if she sees animals, or if there's maybe another mutant nearby that hasn't eaten in, like, say, 2 days or something, she'll try and steal something for them. Also, I want to say, I don't think I got this across in my last video. Kira, at first, is very, very passive. She's a very passive person. She doesn't like fighting. She doesn't like using her magic against anyone, because that becomes important in the next part of the story. She doesn't actually become more of a fighter until, like, Alex is teaching her more and she becomes more involved in the story. But yeah, Alex basically finds her, saves her, and tells her, hey, come back to the pack with me, I'll keep you safe, everything will be okay. And her first fear is, of course, the wolves will attack her, which is kind of an obvious response, because the wolves have been known to just hurt people with no question, because it's kind of known just to stay away from wolves, because they're like that. But yeah. So, here, let me put her in a sitting position, because I'm getting on my nerves. Here, can you? That's the cutest thing I've ever made. That's so cute. Anyway, here, I'll just kind of do it like this. No, not really. I wish I could put them up higher. Anyway, I'll at least leave them in frame a little bit. So, they get back to the pack. Obviously, people are a little shocked and upset. The wolves in the pack can't really, I'm going to say verbally attack. They can't really just come up to him and start screaming, yelling, and blah de blah, because that would involve Violet, and for the most part, when it becomes between Alex or the pack with Violet, depending on the situation, it's mostly Alex. So, like, if people can make their case against Alex, then she's not, like, crazy about it, but hopefully you guys know what I'm trying to say. Oh, by the way, like I warn in every video, storytime video, I do not claim to be an epic storyteller or a good person of the ways of the telling. So, if what I say is confusing or doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. If you have a question, just leave it below and I'll answer it. So yeah, on with the story. And I'm sorry I say a lot. So, basically, the wolves start talking. Violet finally realizes that Alex is back, but with Kira. So they call kind of like a council meeting kind of thing. Like, in the pack there's also like these kind of heads of the pack, which, like, if you want to, like, co-leaders, I guess is what you want to say. Like, there's an alpha and then there's like one or like three maybe of the other, of like lower down level. I don't know. But anyway, so they call a meeting. Alex is like, okay, Kira, you go into the cave, play, do what you need, you'll be okay. And I'll talk in this meeting thing. So in there, of course, the wolves are making their case. They're saying, how could you be stupid bringing this thing into our pack? You're like, kind of a lot of the things I was talking about in the previous video, not where she came from, but like how they met video. And like, they make a lot of cases, like, this could cause the factory to come again. humans will make humans want to come near us again, and because they've worked up a lot of, I guess, fear into the other beings of their area to where no one will kind of come near them, and they want it that way just because they feel like because of the happenings of the factory, it's kind of made them wary of humans and stuff like that. So, they're bickering and fighting. Alex isn't saying anything. Violet's trying to get to the bottom of it and trying to come up with a compromise. And, one of the meeting members kind of say, why would you do this to your pack? Blah de blah. Your family could be in jeopardy, blah blah blah. And this is kind of where Alex, I don't want to say snaps, because it's not like he goes crazy or anything, but he just kind of, it was like enough. So he kind of stands up, goes, well, Kira being here doesn't affect you, it affects me. You've never really made me feel part of the pack, so technically I'm not part of the pack. So what I do and what Kira is has nothing to do with any of you. And if you really don't want her here, that's not a problem. When I'm done with school, we will leave. And Alex he probably put it slightly different from that. He probably put a lot of words into that. He's smarter than I am, so I'm gonna put that out there. So I mean, he just put it plainly, it's the way it is. If you have a problem with it, too bad. Which is kind of like, if you want to think about it, these wolves were kind of above him. So he was kind of talking down to people. It's like a child telling an adult they're an idiot. So the wolves were kind of ticked off about it, and they kind of looked at Violet, was like, are you gonna let him talk to us like that? Are you gonna let him do whatever he wants? And Violet was simply like, yeah. Because she agreed. She kind of felt that if this was that important that Alex was going to insult members of the pack, then it was important enough for her to support. So, and what Alex said about not being part of the pack was actually kind of a shock to Violet. Even though she's very in tune with things, I think she kind of just didn't want to believe that Alex has just been, in a sense, alone the entire time. He's been there. So, and he's roughly 200 by now, so, he's 200 by now, so you gotta think that's 200 years of almost being alone. So, I mean, it's a hard thing to take in when you when you kind of feel like, oh, my son's never been a friend, never had anyone really. So I think that kind of also allowed her to kind of give in to this. So Alex kind of told him how it was, started to walk away, and then kind of turned back and was like, oh, by the way, if anyone comes near her or tries to kill her, whatever happens to her comes to you tenfold, basically. For whatever reason, Alex felt very protective of Kira, kind of the same way Violet felt protective of him. And if you guys are wondering who I'm talking about, Violet is Alex's mom. Short story. And, it shook. So, and Alex has never made threats like that before, and Alex is also kind of, for the most part, he is a passive person. He has the magic, he has the abilities to do epic and crazy things. He just chooses not to because he feels, and there is always a way of dealing with things without becoming violent or hurting someone. So if he can find a way around that, then he will, but, you know, there's also times where magic and things need to be used, and, you know. So it became quickly evident that Kira wasn't going anywhere, so, and Alex, and this was shortly before Alex had to go back to school, which he was at the school for like 4 years, and he had 1 more year left. So, and the school is where he meets his best friend, and that's a whole story. So whenever I get his best friend, which hopefully isn't for too much long, hopefully it's like, I want to say hopefully in like 4 months or something, but for all I know, I probably won't get it for like, till like my next birthday or with something. Alex going away, there was also kind of this question with, and this is just kind of between Alex and Violet now, like there's this question of what's going to happen to Kira. Does she stay here? Does she go with you? Which obviously she can't go with him, because where is he going to hide a dragon girl in his dorm? So he made it kind of obvious that she's gonna stay, and that he obviously asked Violet if she could watch her, if she can make sure no one comes at her or anything, which Violet was actually kind of pretty okay with. I've said before, she wasn't able to have children, so that's why she found Alex. And then that's why she also raised one of the cubs from their pack, which if you guys are wondering what happened to him, he, after like 50 years of being with them, he actually got engaged and moved up north to the northern pack. So, there. And there's a reason why I say that, because that becomes important in the story later. So Violet's gonna take care of Kira while he's at school, and then while he's at school, actually Violet's gonna take care of her and teach her like basically the same things she taught him, kind of like the ways of like different types of magic, and also basic learning stuff, because I mean Kira only has like, she was only 10, and I mean her grandmother really only taught her like magical stuff, so there's only so much you can do with magic, like I said. And Violet also is very big on like learning the different things like math and English, and you know, there's more to the world than just magic, even though for them magic is something that is also kind of important. It's just something they like. So there's that. And then I keep saying that there's like a connection between them, and there's a very big reason in that, and I kind of want to talk about it in a separate video, but I think I'll talk a little bit about it. Part of the connection is, I told you guys Alex has visions sometimes. When he like first runs into Kira, he kind of has a bunch of little flashes of her past, and he actually had kind of a vision of her dying, so that kind of triggered him to like go, this isn't okay, let me save her. And then when he saved her, it kind of just turned into, let me protect her, let me somehow save her, and so, like, you know, I don't know how to say that, but yeah. So if you kind of are wondering like what sparked this all of a sudden, it's kind of that, and there was also a few other things. And like I said in another video, Kira's smarter and more special than what she leads on. She's stronger in a lot of ways, and like people think, like I said before, people think she doesn't know how to do things when she really does. She just decides not to do them. So even with, like, Alex, believe it or not, knows a lot of what Kira can do, even though Kira doesn't know he knows. And it was kind of through the, like, he has visions whenever, a lot of times it happens when he touches people. So, like, when she ran into him when trying to steal his apples, that kind of sounded wrong. I'm sorry. That's how that happened. And then, yeah. So this has kind of been rambly. I'm sorry. Here, I'm going to change the camera angle because I'm tired of, like, yeah. So this was really rambly. Story time. Kind of all over the place. But it kind of explains what happened after she was taken back to the pack, which is something I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know. I don't know. I don't know how many people actually pay attention to all of my story. English. I don't know who actually pays attention, how many people pay attention to my story. So, I know at least Amber and a couple other people, but I'm just saying. So, hopefully that made sense. If not, I'm sorry. Like I said, questions down below, I answer. And I hope you enjoyed. Craziness. Sorry. And I also want to say thank you, Amber, and she knows why. So yeah, that's going to be it. And yet again, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.